Hello everybody, I'm going to be talking about towers, castles, mounds, starforts today. A lot of people may not realise because they come to this channel and see, actually that's the tour at Glastonbury and that is the castle up the road from me. A lot of people may not realise, let's just stop it for a moment, a lot of people may not realise that I have another channel and I talk about a lot of things. I talk to a lot of people. A lot of people might not know that, but I don't just do the What's case. This is Windsor Castle, and what we're going to notice is that a lot of these places have mounds in them. Now this is what's left of Buckingham Palace, but again it's got a tower on it, and those are the plans for Windsor Castle and Buckingham Palace, and as you saw they were almost the same. Anyway, this is Dover Castle. A Dover Castle, I'm pretty sure, is built on a Starfort. So the lies about our history goes on and on and on, and in there is a mound. Now this is Lithuania. Look at the buildings with the pillars. Tartaria again. Anyway, that's Lithuania, and it has a tower a bit like the Leaning Tower of Pisa in Italy. So it's obviously the same kind of time built then. Anyway, this is Martin Leakey. He goes massively into what's happened to us. Mud floods, buildings, just these great big amazing buildings. Anyway, I'm going to be having a hangout with him soon, and these things are called brocks. Now they were built even before the castle. These are one of the first things they built, but I mean even them, I mean look at this up here, and then here it goes down into the ground. So they must have been pretty civilized to be able to have built these things. But anyway, back to towers. There are towers everywhere, and I think they were just towers, but these people knew what they were doing by using these towers. These towers weren't just buildings, they were, I just think they were other things as well, but they're not explaining in our history what it's all about. So we only see a tower, or we're told it's a ruin or something like that, when really they've been other things. And there's a lot of towers. Most things, even if they're not particularly tall, are towers. But anyway, I got sent that by Life Dog, who I think he bought that picture because he suddenly got into towers. Suddenly, you know, loads of things interest you, and yeah. Anyway, down here is where Dover Castle's down here somewhere. But we're going to be looking at other places as well. We're going to be looking at Arundel Castle, which is down here where that cursor is. Some of these castles are just amazing. One of the other castles is about there. The castles that we're going to, just pointing on the map where roughly they're going to be, where they are on the map. So this is Arundel Castle. These castles are built round these mounds, and these mounds are pyramids. There it is there. Just like at Silbury Hill is a pyramid. There it is there in the middle, see? So these people knew what they were doing, and the mounds were there, and then they built things on top. Very often they've got things, structures on top. But they are mounds in pyramids in the castle grounds. So these people knew what they were doing. There was obviously some kind of energy or something coming from them. They knew. And I mean, these things were supposed to have been built hundreds of years ago. But will we ever know exactly when they're built? But again, there's the mound. I don't think they have ever told us the truth about any of it. Just look at that. See, it's quite big. The castle itself is built up on a, it's built up on a bank. It's quite an amazing castle. There's the mound in the middle, and the mound is also quite big. Look at that. Beautiful, isn't it? With the mound. And you think most people don't even know what they are. Haven't even really realised what they are. Nobody realises that these are pyramids. Yeah, of course, there we are with what we're supposed to have looked like. Building these great big castles like that. I just don't believe it. That's inside that structure on the top of the pyramid. It's such a shame they didn't tell us the truth about what all this is. Imagine, just look at it. Amazing, these things. That's called the shell. And they say it's got a moat round it, but now we realise that none of these things are true. So the people would have looked like this while we're building amazing structures like that. There's a drawing with the mound, and that's, I think, it being built. And I think this is Warwick Castle. Yes, there you go, that's Warwick Castle. Now, this is another great big castle. Oh, look, a pyramid in the grounds. A pyramid. Pyramids. And what does Windsor Castle have in it? The same thing. There's the mound here. It might not look quite so big, but it's still a big mound and with a structure on top of it. So they knew. Why would you build a structure on top of it? They're lying about these structures. They're lying what they do. Again, lots of towers. Always towers everywhere. But these have pyramid grounds. What a shame they couldn't have told us the truth, and we learnt really about what our history was about. Now this is Buckingham Palace. Now Buckingham Palace has lost half its, it just has, by those drawings, it's lost half its castle and it's lost its mound. But again, they wouldn't want in the middle of London for people to realise that there were mounds. And they see that there is a drawing of Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle. And as you can see, they're not identical, but they're very similar structures with the towers at the end, towers at the end, towers in the middle, and of course they both got mounds. But of course, Buckingham Palace hasn't got its mound, it's lost its mound. Anyway, I just came across that while I was looking. This is a couple of videos that I've already done, but I've put them together and I'm just talking back over the top because I made them, you know, they were for another channel and so forth. And yeah. Anyway, there you can see they both had mounds with structures on them. So what has happened? Why have they decided to cover up so much of our history? Anyway, back to the map. We're going up there. Oh, we're going to Dover Castle now. Sorry, Dover Castle. Now, Dover Castle to me is built on a Starfort. This is a Starfort. And they've built the castle on the top. And look what's in the middle. Another mound, another pyramid. Look at that. How could people in rags be building buildings like this? It's almost disgusting that they can't tell us the truth about what we live in. Anyway, you can see that Dover is on a Starfort. A very, very old Starfort, supposedly in 1066. Is it Harold battle here? So this castle is extremely old. But I mean, look at what they built. Look at it. It's beautiful. And, you know, trying to tell us that we were just in rags, carts and horses. I don't think so. But there's the pyramid in the middle of Dover Castle. It's disgusting, isn't it? England is covered in pyramids and no one is talking about it. I'm going to show you another pyramid later on that I don't live very far from, but nobody's talking about it and nobody here really knows because they're going to just believe what they're told on the television. But all you need to do is go and do your own research, and you can see. Now these structures are next to the castle, and that, look, they're just amazing. They're all Starforts, pyramids. Now this is Tintagel Castle, which is in Devon, and these structures obviously have been gone for a while, but they're also, I wonder whether it's a Starfort, but those two pieces of land used to meet, whereas now obviously it doesn't. Some of it's collapsed into the sea. Now this is Beeston Castle. Again, it's got this same similar shape, bit like a Starfort, but we're only seeing the ruins. Now that is the walled city. That in the walled city of Norwich is another mound, and that says the 14th century. And there again, in the middle. Now, these structures, these towers, these mounds, they're everywhere. They're all over the UK. I speak back to Beeston, but these mounds, they're everywhere. See, these are pictures that I've just picked up of other mounds. These are pyramids. I think that one is Marlborough College, which we'll go back to, but another mound. These are pyramids. Pyramids everywhere. Anyway, back to Donington Castle. Now this place is a couple of miles away from me. It is quite an amazing structure, but it isn't very big to be a castle. You can see how small it is. Now that's supposed to be a castle with loads of turrets and things on it. To me it looks more, I don't know, it could have been a church, but it was a small castle. It was a small castle. And it's been derelict for a long time like that. But isn't it amazing that the rest of the castle went? There it is there, I'm just going to stop it a minute. The rest of the castle went, but the turret, the tower stayed here. Now you see, it looks absolutely amazing. I mean, look at it. Look at this. Look how small these are. But you'll see, that isn't very big. They're making that look really big. Anyway, there's a bit of history there which you can stop and look at. But they're making it look like this place is really big. But you can see it's about the size of a small church. But guess what it's on? A Starfort. There's a Starfort there. Anyway, there's a date there of 1783. That's an etching. And that shows you that it's been derelict for a rather long time. But that's supposedly a bit of the history which we now can't trust because none of our history is correct. But again, there it is. Look at it. It looks enormous. But look at the size of it. It's a small castle. Or was it a church? Who knows? Because churches have those towers like that at the beginning. But then maybe the churches took over these buildings and called them churches. And they were already there, like my last video. We've moved in and these structures are here, basically. Gargoyles, but look at the symmetry of those towers. Just look, they knew what they were doing. Whatever that is, I do not believe it was a castle or a church. But anyway, that is the tour at Glastonbury. So that's near Glastonbury, you know, where the festival is. But again, this mound with this tower on the top looks just like a pyramid. It does, I'm sorry. This is Merlin's Mound. It's in Marlborough. It's about 10 miles away from Silbury Hill, which I talk about quite a lot. And unfortunately, they put a water tower in it and it's kind of just half destroyed. But there's an etching. So a long time ago, there was the mound. But it's in Marlborough College. And I would just say that I didn't realise that all the big boys in England, all the big boys' schools in England, have these mounds in Eton, Harrow. They have these mounds, just like Marlborough College has these mounds in the middle. So there are just pyramids everywhere, all over the UK. And they're not talking about them. And you can see they built the college around it. They weren't going to knock that down. I mean, they did knock a lot of them down because goodness knows how many there really have been that they've covered up and got rid of, like the one at Buckingham Palace, which is gone now. But anyway, you can't really go in there because it's in the middle of the college. But I did stop my car and view it through the gates. But anyway, back to Silbury, to the Glastonbury tour. Now, I actually think that this is a pyramid. Okay, and the really strange thing is there's supposed to have been a church on the top. That was supposed to be another church, but I don't believe it. it's so small on the top of that hill that the church would have had to have been very small. So I just think that that was a tower put there and they were harnessing energy because these people knew what they were doing. Yeah, it's rather flat out there, isn't it, with this hill. But do you see what I mean? The church itself would have been very small, but how come the tower remained? So I just think these people were harnessing the energy and using towers to do it. And they've lied to us about all these structures, and you'll see many structures in the UK and the castles and that are all towers. They're just towers. Anyway, they told people that this was a church. See, it's tiny up there. But they told people that this was a church, and basically what it was is that because the UK was a bit more flooded then at that time, that the people used to sail to the church on top of the hill. That's what the history says. It's what the plaque says down below. But I just don't see it myself, and I'm going to show you in a minute. But again, to me, that looks very... there you go. Now, what it is this is the morning mist coming in, and once you go up to the height of the tower, you'll realise, well, if it was a church and they were sailing to it, I'd like to know where they were sailing from, because as you can see, the clouds would be like the sea and it covers everything up. So where were these people coming from? It's just a lie. It's just another part of another lie which they keep doing to us. They keep lying about our history, just like my last video. So that's going to be the history about Donington Castle, the castle up the road from me. But Donington Castle is also built on a Starfort, and I don't think people realise. Just start looking around you, looking at the land, looking at things, going to maps, going to wherever you need to go to look, like all of us have to do, and you will realise that nothing is like you think it was. Nothing. Now that is built on a Starfort. The Starfort was there first, and then that little church castle, whatever it is, they're calling it Donington Castle, was built on the top of the Starfort. So these are energy places. They've got to be, because why would they build the castle on the top of that? That is amazing work this person does. I did write to them. They never wrote back to me. I really wanted to know more about how they did all this, because they did like a 360. And there you go. Perfect for the Starfort. Anyway, I'm going to put my bit on about Silbury Hill. Now, I went there with some friends. There is a phenomenon at this place, by the way, because that's me filming Silbury Hill at the fence. And that's me filming from further away, and the pyramid has got bigger. Standing at the fence, it's smaller. Standing at the car, it's bigger. So we've got no idea how this place works. I promise you, we don't understand anything. That thing looks absolutely enormous there. We all saw it, whoever was there that day. But when you walk to the fence, there is a field between the fence and the pyramid, and it's not so big. As you can see, when you're at the fence, there is a field between us and it, but further away it was much bigger. We've got no idea how this place works. They do, probably, and this is where they're lying to us. So probably they're hiding things in plain sight and nobody realises. just midget compared. That looks absolutely enormous, that pyramid.
Because it looks, the further you get away, it seems to, although with perspective, it's growing in that perspective, isn't it? You'd imagine it gets smaller, but it seems to, you know.
They just look tiny. And that's how big Silbury Hill looks when you're standing at that fence. There's that fence. There it is, there. Do you see? There's a field in between. And it doesn't look so big when you get a bit closer. Isn't that strange? And then this is them sort of together, if you understand what I mean. There's me taking it from the car, a long way from that fence. And then the one above is me at the fence. And you can see the pyramid looks smaller. It looks bigger the further you are away. I mean, we're not talking of a great distance, but you can see the difference a bit further away. It looks bigger than when we're closer. Thank you, GoPro Flat Earth Darb. And it was great meeting you yesterday. We had a great day at Silbury Hill. But there you go. That's what he's saying in his video.
So when the Romans came, they cut the top off. They built the road here, and then they cut the water supply off. So therefore, then they cut the power source off. They actually stopped the power source. Water used to come out the top. Water used to come out the top of that. So it's like a fountain. It used to, and like I say, the puddle clay and the chalk act as a current clay. You know, electricity. So electricity, like a power station. Yeah. Something over here.
Well, I just get a feeling that these bits here, one goes in and one goes out the other side, and they're part of it.
Yeah, it's like, but like I say, if you can imagine as well, the positive and negative on a battery.
Yes, what I think.
And how it was layered.
Yeah.
From like puddle clay to chalk, puddle clay and chalk.
I agree with you that this is part of a Silbury Hills. Positive, negative. Yeah, bad for.
Same as a pyramid.
Yeah. Ooh, he's looking quite big now. Because he doesn't look that big, does it? But he is.
Yeah, no.
He's actually.
He's, you know, you can feel it kind of.
Yeah, feel positive. Whee! We are at the foot of Silbury Hill.
This is what I like. It says here, it's also designated as a special scientific interest.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Yeah.
Then no one can go near it.
Yeah. In other words, keep it away.
Because you don't want us knowing the truth. Do you feel good for being here? Does it make you feel better? Like, do you feel the energy? Well, Well, what about the Starforts? We don't even quite understand what they are.
Amazing. They'll shell right in the top of it, look.
A little stone at the foot of Silbury Hill.
And look at the pink.
But they don't care, you know. If they cared, they'd be looking at this as a pyramid and treating it like one. Which they don't, do they?
There's the long barrel. That's the long barrel.
Oh, is it only there?
Yeah.
Can people see that there's something going in there?
And the water
And
went up
there's
through the centre.
the other one going in there. Like positive, negative. That's what we reckon, isn't it? Positive, negative. Bye, Silbury Hill. I'm going to drive past you on the way back. Anyway, I'm really glad I came here today and saw that. Oh, I love that place. I was smiling, and I love Avebury as well. But you can see it's misshaped, can't you? Even from here.
The Greeks are the original flat earthers.
And we're with a Greek.
if you listen to Santos Spinacci, he says that that's the first people they attacked. To get rid of the Greeks because they are giving away the secret.
Does that mean we bow to Costa? Oh, cool. Absolutely midget compared. That looks absolutely enormous, that pyramid.
It looks, the further you get away, it seems to, although with perspective,
how small they
it's
are.
growing in that perspective, isn't it? You'd imagine it gets smaller, but it seems to,
Right, we're at Avebury now, but at the moment there's just some stumps there, but we're getting to a stone. Ta-da! There is a stone. There's some more.
So, they've piled it up there. So it ain't, Silbury Hill.
Yeah, that was just my idea. That was ages ago when we don't know what it is. But this is the electrical arcing. This is what it looks like. It just looks a bit like a moat going round, but of course it goes right the way round. Look at that. Some of these are girl stones and boy stones. Little doggy. Say hello to Martin Leakey. The size of it. It's so big I can't even get it in the camera. I'm on the fence. I'm on the rope. I'm on the ropes. Get Costa hugging. Well, he's not quite hugging the stone. Hug the stone, Costa. There he is, he's hugging. Just as long as they didn't do the same thing, that they actually lied and put them here like afterwards, a bit like they resurrected them and not done it correctly like they did with Stonehenge. But
they were all down, all the stones were down.
So they put them back up.
They just put them back up.
Have you tried that?
What's that?
Hold your hand up and fall onto it.
What, you can feel a good energy, can you?
Yeah, just stand away from it and then fall onto it. Put it like just like you can't reach it, and then.
Yeah. Special stones. What is it you really do? Tell us.
See what I mean? It's different, isn't it? When it's like.
I still think Silbury Hill's. I love Avebury, but Silbury Hill's my favourite.
Yeah.
Is it the same for you?
Yeah, I like
You like this?
Yes, there's something.
Something about here.
Yeah, something.
What, more than Silbury Hill?
I think so. I prefer this type.
You prefer
monument.
Costa?
Yeah.
I loved here more, but now I understand about Silbury Hill. I love Silbury Hill.
I think it's about
Maybe that's older though.
10p underneath it. Just going over it, and they cross over at the point, and then they'll go backwards and forwards, and then it'll keep going until it'll come at it from another way, and it'll cross over, and then they'll find out that it's, they will find it.
How much do you reckon that this stone's under the ground? Costa, come in, Costa. There's Costa. We're leaning up against the stone. Costa's at one of his favourite places. Anyway, thought I'd put a bit of me on there. There's never any me. I'm usually the one taking the pictures and the film. It's a bit of me. If we did an aerial shot, you'd see that it was an electrical arcing. I told everybody it's a moat, which is not, but that's the electrical arcing. I was just telling them about the trees, and we thought maybe that they'd seen them all, but here it is. I said Costa.
You saw this again?
Yeah, I saw. Well, I've seen it, and I've seen it on pictures. I mean, just these. Look at these ancient trees, or old trees, and look at their roots.
I was saying that if you get an arm monitor and you down a little bit from the stage.
So, what's your take on Avebury then?
Avery's whatever you want it to be.
Okay.
Crystal.
Oh, I love shops like this. Oh. Let's look at a book. So, let's have a look then.
So this is what they originally thought it to look like.
Yeah, because that's the other guy, yeah.
And we are kind of smack bang in the middle of one of the stone circles. This is what it looks like now. And that's the pub, and that's us.
Oh yeah,
And we
right
are
in the
literally in the
middle.
middle of the stone circle.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
See, who did this? Who did that?
Yeah, well, it's modern, isn't it?
That's more modern.
Same as that, maybe drop them holes up there. Is there another way in?
Well, where does it go? Maybe it goes down. It probably goes down, and they've probably covered it up.
Hey, Thomas. Do you think there's another doorway there?
Well, down. Yeah, maybe it goes down. Into the earth. They seem to be fixated with going in, don't they, to the earth?
Well, yeah.
Has she done
Oh no!
something?
Oh, how horrible! They dug a hole for a little bit of hole in it.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
they've broken into it, haven't they? That's what that depression is on top.
I don't think this was a burial chamber at all.
I think they're living quarters.
Living quarters.
Yeah, that's right, so I know.
Or yeah.
Storage.
Maybe storage. Do you think this is quarters? Think this is someone's house?
Stage for one night.
That's really good.
Well, look, somebody made a store doll.
Oh yeah. Leave things, but look at the size of these stones they've put on. Yeah, they're quite big. I mean, maybe they're not so big, but that one is absolutely huge. And that one there, look. Oh my god. Look at that one.
And look how they've come in and in and in, and then bought it. Looks like
Yeah.
a white stone doesn't seem real up there.
I think that's been put there, isn't
Yeah,
it?
no, that's what I'm saying. I wonder.
Oh, you think that's new, that bit?
That is. Well, I don't know that bit. Because it's beneath this.
That one there's quite big as well, isn't it? The one just right behind you.
Brilliant.
It's enormous.
What's caused this? Did they choose it for that?
Maybe a saber-toothed tiger or one of those elephants did it. I know they goes this. Well, that's a saber-toothed tiger, that's it. Ooh. This is another great big stone. Absolutely enormous.
There's iron in it.
Yeah.
Iron in it.
Yeah.
All that in it.
And even that one there's quite, even it's sideways, it's still quite a big thing, that thing there.
Oh yeah.
It's a bit of a shame with the concrete on the ceiling just up there, the modern day concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just do not think this is a burial chamber. How many? It's not big enough for. Surely they'd want it more. But when it's shaped like this, you get this. You've got this feeling.
Look at this one, man. What's that all about?
Yeah, he's a bit of a big beast, isn't it?
Look at this.
Yeah, some of them do have markings on. Like there was that circle on.
Put your head under there. If you're that height, you're that height.
It's amazing, look. There's a great big stone with some, just there with the earth on the top. It's incredible. Is that modern, that bit in there? And then when you come out here, you realise that the long barrow actually is about 10 times longer.
Yeah, well this is about as far as it goes.
Well, I suppose maybe over time, because we don't know how old it all is, that maybe some of it did collapse.
See, that's it.
I may not be able to get the best video of it, but there's Merlin's Mound.
That is Merlin's Mound. I've been so hoping, even if I can't see it properly. Anyway, I've said goodbye to GoPro, Bernie and Tommy. My camera ran out up at the Long Barrows. And I know you can't see it properly, but that's it. That is Merlin's Mound. You see? Maybe it's not the best pictures of it, but that is another pyramid. There it is in there. Amazing. Anyway, I stopped my car to take a picture of that because it's Merlin's Mound is in Marlborough's College, and this is Marlborough College. Anyway, Merlin's Mound. It's great to see it anyway, and you see a part of it. Anyway, thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed the video today, and going out to Silbury Hill and Avebury and meeting GoPro and Costa. It was brilliant. Oh, and Bernie and Tommy and everyone else. Anyway, thank you very much.